Good afternoon, everyone. This is Vinod Verma from Google for Education team. Thank you for joining us today. As I can see, we already have 107 people, so I think we can start the session. Now, so today, this session is going to be about Google for Education tools, CS First, and Bolo. So what we're going to do is we are going to cover the tools we have under G Suite for Education, how we can go ahead and register to get access to G Suite for Education tools. I have my colleagues Parth and Shalini. Parth will be conducting a session on CS first, and Shalini will be conducting a session on Bolo. And I also would like to thank Deepthi ma'am. She is the CEO of a company called Mahatatwa, and she is a GEG leader. She has joined this session today to help us and conduct a session on Google Classroom. So thank you, Deepthi ma'am. And we will be starting with the G Suite for Education tools first, and then we will cover how to go ahead and register. I will also do a quick demo on Google Tools, how we can use them for distance learning. And we will also do a demo on Google Classroom, how we can use Google Classroom, to conduct virtual classes. Great. So I'll start with the Google Tools, what we have. So first of all, G Suite for Education is absolutely free to use. There are 13 tools we have under G Suite for Education. Starting from top, we have Google Docs, which is a word processor where we can create documents. To create spreadsheets, we have Google Sheets. For presentations, we have Google Slides. Now, there is an advantage for Google for Education domain. Let's say when school register for G Suite for Education, they will get access to all the tools, and they will also have access to unlimited drive storage for every ID you create under your domain. So for example, as if you create ID for a teacher or for a student, they will also have access to unlimited drive storage where they can save all their data, all their content. Let's say if you are going to use Google Meet for your video conference sessions, you can also save all your recordings in Google Drive. So it goes by default in Google Drive. So that becomes one place, where you can save all your data on Google Cloud. And that is going to be unlimited for all the users you have under your domain. Next, we have Google Jamboard, which is a sort of whiteboard where teachers can write and present to the entire class. So one, you can absolutely write on a Jamboard. Second, you can even add images in the Jamboard. You can add sticky notes, and then you can present it to the entire class. Then we have access to Google Gmail. So this is again going to help you to communicate using email services. So everyone will have access to Gmail as well, where you will be able to send and receive emails. Then we have Google Meet, which is going to be a video conferencing tool, what we are experiencing right now. So there are many premium features we have added in Google Meet. So I can share that. So you can invite 250 people in one video conference session. Then you can record that video conference session. And if in case you have more than 250 people, you will be able to do a live broadcast. So you can do a stream where you can invite 100,000 people for that specific stream link. And in Google Meet, you will also find a chat window, which is also part of Google Meet. You can use the chat window where, let's say, for example, if you are conducting a session, students can, type in their questions in the chat window, and it is easy for teachers to answer and pick the questions from the chat window itself. Next, we have Google Classroom, which is the LMS, which is our flagship product, where you can create virtual classes. So if I compare it with the physical environment, let's say if you have multiple classes with multiple grades and sections, similarly, you can create virtual classes in Google Classroom. For example, grade 5 has section A, B, C, then you will be able to create 4 virtual classes for grade 5 or 3 virtual classes for grade 5. So similarly, you can have language classes, and from Classroom itself, you will be able to share data, you'll be able to share resources from Google Drive, you can share links, or you can share videos with all the students in your class. Then we have Google Forms, which is a great tool. Let's say if you would like to create a quiz, assessment, or maybe a survey, then Google Form gives you that those options, so you can create multiple types of forms. So that can be done by using Google Forms. Next, we have Google Keep. This is like a notepad where you can take some rough notes, and post that you can absolutely transfer the information back to your actual document. So all these tools are collaborative, so you can invite your teammates, your teachers to work with you on the same document at the same time. Then we have Google Calendar, where you can schedule all your meetings. Then you can even schedule all your Google Meet sessions. Now Google Classroom already has Google Calendar and Google Meet, so they are already integrated in Google Classroom. So let's say if you would like to share the schedule for the coming week with your class, then you can absolutely share the schedule. You can even add Google Meet links in the calendar, so students will know when they have a session, when they going to have a session, maybe the
దూడ ఇచ్చింది నాకు. കേൾക്കുന്നില്ലല്ലോ അവിടെ.
ma'am, may I request you to put yourself on mute, please? Thank you. Right. Now, after Google Calendar, we have Google Admin Console. Now, this is really important because when we are giving access to students to all these tools and to internet services, now this admin console gives you 200 plus policies. So from the admin console, you can manage all your users. So let's say if you would like to manage network settings, if you want to create a list of whitelisted or blacklisted websites, what all websites they can access, what all YouTube channels they can access. So all those settings can be done from the admin console itself. Now, all these tools are web-based, so they work really well on the web browsers. You don't have to download any of these tools. They are also available in the app format. So let's say if you would like to use it from a smartphone, then you will definitely find the apps from Play Store or from the App Store. So they are absolutely web-based and are also available in the apps format. Great. So I'll cover, so these are the tools comes under G Suite for Education. Now, how we can go ahead and register as a school to get access to all these tools. Now, there are three simple steps. All these steps are online, so you have to request online to get access to G Suite for Education. Now, there are three links. So the first link is to share the details about your institution, some documents, like the affiliation number, the accreditation or affiliation documents, which proves that, you are an educational institute. That is the first link where you will share the information about your institution. The second link is to verify your school domain. Now, let's say if I have a school, St. Columbus, I have a website which is stcolumbus.com. Now that means I have a domain which is stcolumbus.com, and on that domain I have created the website. So now I have to verify my domain so that I can get access and use these tools for my domain. Now, as soon as you get access, I will be able to create email IDs under my domain. So my ID, for example, will become vinod@stcolumbus.com. So as a user, that will be my ID. And using this ID, I will have access to all the tools, including unlimited drive storage, Google Classroom, and Google Meet as well. Now, as soon as you verify your domain, there is a last step to request for an upgrade, which is specifically for education. So this is again online. Post-domain verification will request you to submit this form, and this information goes to our support team. They do a verification. As soon as that is done, you receive a welcome email. That means domain is registered. Now you can go ahead and you can create users and you can start using all the tools which we have under G Suite for Education. So it's really easy. As soon as your domain is registered, you also get access to the admin console from where you can create, different groups, organizational units. So that could be, separate for teachers and students, and you will be able to create users from admin console. And also it is possible and easy to apply policies for all the users. So from one single admin console, you can do all these activities. All your reporting can be done. You can got the audit logs. So all these information, all these features are available in admin console. And you will get access to admin console post these three steps. So there are three steps. Again, online, all these steps are online. As soon as you're done, you will get access to all these tools under G Suite for Education. So this is about the tools and the registration part. Now I'll quickly switch the tab and I'll present my screen just to do a quick demo on Google Tools. Let me start with Google Docs. Okay, so now let's say if I open a Google Doc. So first of all, I'll quickly show you the Google Drive. Now this is my Google Drive, which is going to be unlimited for all the users. Now, if I go to App Grid, here I will see all the tools which comes under G Suite for Education. So this is, you can find all the tools under App Grid. Let's say if you want to open Google Docs, Sheets, or Slides, you can just click on App Grid and you can select the tool, and you will be able to use in a next tab or in the web browser itself. So I have already opened Google Docs, so this is how my document will look like. Now, as I said, all these tools are collaborative, so you will find the Share tab on all the Google tools. So let's talk about Sheets, Google Slides, and Google Docs. You will find this Share button. So let's say if I want to invite someone to work with me on the same document. So let's say if I've already invited parts, now I can even define what sort of right, let's say if I want to give them editing rights, if they can, if you can just comment or if you can just view the document. So I've already invited parts. As soon as parts will receive the notification, we can work together on the same document. So let's say if I'm typing right now I can see Parth is also active on this document and he's also typing along with me. So similarly, you can invite many teachers, to work with you on the same document. So this becomes really easy when you are doing lesson planning. So they can absolutely work with you on the same document. That is one, you can absolutely collaborate on all these tools. Now, second, these tools are available in offline mode as well, because I have got queries related to, because sometimes you might not have access to internet services. Let's say if you want to make this documents to work in offline mode, then you can enable this option. You can make it available offline. That means you can work it in offline mode, and when you would like to upload, as soon as you are in the network services, then you can absolutely upload the document. Next thing I want to share is the different types of formats which are available in Google Docs itself. So let's say if your document is ready and if you want to convert it into a different format, so these options are available. You can convert simply into a PDF doc, Word, plain text, web page. So all these formats are available in Google Docs itself. Now, another interesting tool is the voice typing, where teachers can use, so we have multiple languages, available for voice typing as well. So Hindi, Marathi, Nepali, Gujarati, all the Indian languages, and you will also find international languages as well. So let's say if I select English, as soon as I switch it on, when I'm talking, I can create my documents, while I'm talking. So it's really easy for teachers to select a language and create a document using the voice typing feature. Now I have selected Hindi. Similarly, you can select either Hindi, Marathi, Nepali. There are many languages. You can absolutely select the language and you can start creating your document. So this is available in Google Docs. And if in case you want to convert the document, let's say if you already have a document in English, and if you want to convert it into a different language, you can do that as well. You can select the text you want to convert, or if you want to convert the complete document, just click on Tools, and you can select Translate Document. Now you can select the language, and it will be converted in that specific language. So all these features are available in Google Docs. So this is about Google Docs. I'll quickly show you Google Sheets. Now this is where you can create spreadsheets. Again, The share tab is there. I can invite my it's, let's say, if I want to invite teachers or students to work with me on the sheet, they can absolutely work along with me on the sheet. Quickly, I'll cover Google Docs. So this is Google Doc where you can create multiple type of quiz, survey, assessment forms. So all that can be done. Now, let's say if you would like to add images, you can add images in the Google form. You can even add videos in the Google form. So let's say if I'm searching for a video which I would like to share with my students, and I would like to have few questions related to that video. So I'll search for Google for education videos. Now I can select which video I would like to add. I can select the video. Now it will become part of my Google Forms. So I can do the alignment and I can give the title if it is related to any specific subject. Let's say it is related to Google for Education. Now, as soon as student will get this form, they will first be able to see the video, and then I can share some questions related to the video as well. Or I can add a Google or maybe any image, and I can request, or maybe I can give some questions to just identify, which tool it is. So for example, this is Google Docs. So now for student, how will it look like? So this is like a preview. As soon as they will receive a form, so this is how they will get to see the video, the questions, and the options you will give in the form itself. So now I can select if I would like to give them a multiple choice question, if I would like to have short answer, paragraph, a checkbox, or drop down. All these options are available from Google Forms itself. So using these features, you can create different types of forms. Now, quickly, I'll cover Jamboard, which I was talking about, which can be used as a whiteboard. So this works really well if you have a device which has a stylus, because it becomes really easy to write using the stylus on the screen. However, if you don't have it, you can still use the mouse cursor or the mouse pad, or you can add sticky notes, like I've already added one sticky note, or I can add images. For example, this is like a cycle, so I've just added an image. Then you can create multiple questions using the Jamboard. If you want to present it, I can even present my Jamboard to my entire class, and that's how they get to see, the complete Jamboard on their devices. So these are the tools I wanted to cover under G Suite for Education. Now, next, I would like to invite Deepthi ma'am. She will help us conduct a demo on Google Classroom, how we can create classes, how we can share content, how we can, do grading in Google Classroom, all the features we have in Google Classroom. So I request Deepthi ma'am to help us cover Google Classroom for us. Over.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. And it's always a pleasure to be here. Vinod, thanks for asking me once again to be here and presenting this to the audience. I will be covering Google Classroom. And Vinod, I'm going to take over the screen.
Sure, ma'am. I'll just stop the presenting mode. Okay, sure, ma'am.
Hi, Deepthi ma'am, Shalini here. Just requesting everybody to, pin, go to where Deepthi ma'am's, Deepthi Sahani is written, presentation, and just there's a small pin to screen button on the left side. Just press on that and you will be able to see her presentation.
And one more request, if in case you have any question, you can use the chat window. You can enter all your questions, and we'll be happy to answer that.
I think there are one or two people for whom the screen is not visible. I would advise you to please check your connectivity. And for the people who have to come onto my screen, I'm sharing my screen right now. On the top right corner, you can see people where it says people 122 right now. If you click on that, you will see the participant list. It will collapse down. My name is Deepthi Sahani. And just below that, there is Deepthi Sahani bracket presentation. Please go onto that and pin me. Pin the presentation screen so that you will be able to see what I'm showing right now. Okay then, so I'm ready to go. What Vinod just spoke about were the various apps in the G Suite for Education. and a lot of you were asking in the chat if you would be able to showcase them individually, and Vinod did a brilliant job of that. If there are any queries, there is an email which Vinod has shared with you. You can send in your queries on that. What I will do is I will show you how these various apps in the G Suite for Education, how do you take all of them and make it presentable for the children? So you have your Drive. Vinod showed you the Drive, and if you're a G Suite for Education school, you have unlimited storage. You can have as much data as you want on it. But when you have to showcase it to the children, they need a platform. So they need a learning management system, and Google Classroom is that platform. So if you want your assessments, you want your assignments, you want your revision notes, or even if you want to showcase the slides, the resources that you have been showing in the classroom, if you want to share those with the children, you can do that using the Google Classroom. So how do you get there? On the right-hand side, as Vinod showed you, there are these 9 buttons, which is the Google Apps grid, where all the apps which are defined with your profile are shown. So if I click on that and I look for the classroom logo, this is what it looks like. Now, sometimes when you have not been using this app too much, you might not see it here. You might not see it in the Google Apps grid because you have not used it before. So either you go and look for it here, or you just go on to the Chrome browser and you type in classroom.google.com. So those are the 2 ways to get onto the Classroom app. And when you go on, this is what your landing page will look like. So there will be Google Classroom, and there will be your profile, the Google Apps grid, and there will be a plus button here. So when I click on it, it gives me 2 options. Either I can join a class or I can create a class. Now, these classes that you see here, of course, over the few months, I have created them. If you have not been using the classroom, this will be blank. There will be no class there. But you can easily create a class by clicking on this button and going create class. So I'm just going to do that for you. It will ask you to verify and make you, tick a dialog box which says that you're using this for education. And I'm just writing a Google demo here. So just to show you how this gets created. So you have to just write the name of the class, and at the back end, the infrastructure, the design, everything has already been done by the Google engineers. So you just have to name the class and it's done. So let's wait for it to come on. So there it is. I created a classroom just now. This is the theme. So you can go on to it, and you can, if you're teaching English or history, or if you're teaching maths, you can just change your, so suppose this is a science class, I'm just changing the theme. You can also upload a photograph. So just for your information, if you have 1,000 by 250 pixels picture, you can have your school logo, and you can have the nomenclature that your school uses for the class up here, and you can upload that photograph and make it very personalized for your own school. So you can do that as for the school header as well. So when you get into the classroom, you will see that there are 4 tabs. There is the stream. So this is where all the interaction takes place. So if you want to have a group discussion, you want to flip a classroom, you want to send videos to the children before the class actually takes place, so that they have access to information, and they also get into the mode of deep diving into subjects that you're going to be talking to them a day after. The second tab here is for classwork, and this is where all your assignments, your notes, your homework, your teacher sessions, everything that you want will go on here. The third tab is for people. You can have co-teachers constructing the same course together. So if you have, say, for instance, 5 teachers teaching the 10 sections across in grade 8, all of you could be teachers in this course, but the person who has created the course is the only one who can delete the course. Rest, all the teachers have all the facilities of creating assignments, assessments, checking the papers, correcting notes, assignments, everything. So you can do that. And then here is where your children come in. So you invite the children using the code right on top here. So the children go, just as you did create class, the children will say join class. They will put in the code and they will get enrolled in this class that you've created. And the final tab here is for marks. This is one of the most evolved tab for the Google Classroom. And I will be showing you that in a minute, how every child that is there in the classroom can have all the assignments mapped. They are all marked. You can see the progression of how the child is doing in the various assignments that you have given. So all of that happens in these 4 tabs. So I'm going to move on to another tab that I've created just because this one is a G Suite for Education account, and you will be able to see the difference that here I have the Meet link integrated as well. So the Google Meet that we are using right now is part of the Google Classroom. So there are a lot of questions when teachers say, the children get onto these Meet links without the teacher being there. So what you can do is you can go on to the settings here. And in the settings, you have the Meet link. So this is your Meet link. You can make it visible for the children, or you can make it invisible. You can change it. So if you want the children to come on at 10 o'clock, you can change this at 5 minutes to 10, reset it, and it gets done. And the children have a new link to come on to. So this is about the Meet integration that Vinod was talking about. So I'm just saving that. So the children can come on to the class 5 minutes before, and the correct protocol is the teacher is the first one to go in and the last one to leave. So she makes sure that all the children have left the Meet before she goes out. So this is the title I've told you. This is how the children join in, and this is your Meet link. I've already told you about the theme and about the uploading of the photographs. I'm moving on now to the stream. How can you use the stream? So I'm just going here, and for instance, we're going to do the solar system tomorrow. So I can write in a comment to the children. So I've told them to prepare 2 questions. See the video, prepare 2 questions and that you want to ask me about it. So I'm telling them to get on to it and prepare 2 questions for this video that I want them to see. So I can directly from here go to YouTube, look for a suitable video. I just want to check if my screen is visible. If you can give me a thumbs up, Vinod.
Yes.
So I have curated a video which is from National Geographic. I know this is a safe one for my children. That I have added it. So this is my stream. This is where every child in this classroom will be able to come in and will be able to see this video and will be able to prepare the 2 questions that I've told them to do. So your peer-to-peer discussion, your teacher-to-peer student discussion, also a whole lot of group discussions can happen in the stream. So I can hear some feedback. If the people who are not talking right now, if you can just mute your mic. Thank you. So I'm moving on to the next tab here, which is the classwork. I have prepared a few things here, but how do you prepare assignments or assessments for the children? I'm just going to demo that. So there is this magic button called the Create button. I click on that. It lets me create assignments, quiz assignments. It lets me do a quick question. It lets me create material. Now, what's the difference between assignments and material? For the assignments, you will be giving them to the children and they will be graded. So if it is a material that you want to showcase, like suppose there is a PowerPoint which you used in the class today, you can just go and click on the material and go on to it. But before you do any of these, you will need to create topics, because these topics are sections where all these assignments are going to sit. So I will click on topic. I already have assignments, assessments, revision notes. So I'm going to do one on teacher sessions. So these are all the PowerPoint presentations which I want to share with the class. So I go and add that. And my teacher session comes here. Now, you can also move these tabs. So suppose you want the assignments to go down and the assessments to come up, or you want the revision notes to come up, you can do all of that. But I want the teacher sessions to come first. Then I want the assignments, then assessments, and finally I want to put in some revision notes for my children for recapitulation. So now I have done the topics. I've created, I'm repeating, I have created the topics from here, going on here. So once I've done that, let us now upload something for the teacher sessions. So I'm going on create, clicking on material. Now I am doing introduction of the solar system. So introduction, solar system. And here I will say this is the presentation I used in class today. So I leave a note for the children and I go here and I have this resource which I want to share with the children in my Google Drive. So I will go there and I will look for that resource. So here is the presentation on solar system. I just add it here. You see it's got added. And then you will need to tag it. So I want this to go to the teacher session. So I will click on that. It will go to all the students. I can't show you the students here because they're not enrolled right now, but you can also differentiate your lesson according to whom do you want this resource to go to. So if there are some GNT students in your classroom, some gifted and talented children, and you want them to give have higher order resource, you can give them a higher order resource. And if you think you have 4 or 5 children who are slow learners and they will need a different kind of a resource, you can do that using this. So if you have the children enrolled here, they will show here, and you can click on the tick or unclick it, and then you will be able to select to give this resource to those particular children. So I'm going to click on post now. I put it in teacher sessions. You can also post it, schedule it, or save a draft. If you haven't still finished making it, you can click on save draft. You can schedule it to appear tomorrow or day after, or you can straight away go and post it. I'm posting it so that you can see it. So you see here in the teacher sessions, my resource has come and it's sitting here right now. Okay. So the second one is an assignment. These are the Google Docs that Vinod spoke about. So I've created the Google Docs for the children. According to their own interest, they can go on to the metamorphosis of the butterfly or the metamorphosis of the dragonfly. They can go on to the metamorphosis of frog or the metamorphosis of honeybee. So the children can be teamed up according to you. And just as Vinod showed you how you can share particular documents, so you can share these documents depending upon the roll numbers or the email IDs that you have, and only those people will be able to access this. I just want to show you a rubric, how to create a rubric for this, and very quickly I'm going to do that. So when I go on to assignment, add an assignment, so I have done that. I have added all the documents, like I added the PowerPoint presentation. I put it in assignments, and you can see here that I've created a rubric for it. Now, if you are taking your children towards self-regulation, because this is online learning, you want the children to be more on their own and, you know, be self-directed, self-regulated. So if you make a rubric for them, this is also inbuilt in the assignment. You don't have to create it yourself. You just have to write points on it. So for the research paper, I have given the criteria as focus and details. I have given a criteria of organization, and I have given a criteria of sentence, grammar, mechanics, and spelling. So the children will know that for focus and detail, if I write this, that there is one clear, well-defined topic, main ideas are clear, I will get a 4 point. And if I write, if my work is this, I will get 3 points. If it is this, I'll get 2. And if it is the topic and the main ideas are not clear, I'm going to get 1 mark. So this rubric is also attached to the project and given to them so that they can refer to it while they are creating that project. So if I just go on to it, you will be able to see that the children will see this rubric when they access the assignment. So this assignment is also there, added with the rubric. I'm going on to assessments now. For assessments, you can again go to create and click on quiz assignment now. I just want to show you another thing on this one, on the assignments. If I click on edit here, please note that there are originality reports in Word document, so you can check for plagiarism. So what this means is that if the children are submitting work, you can check if it's a clear copy paste from the net or have they written it themselves. So it gives you originality reports for 3 assignments in a class. So you can add that as well. Okay, so I'm now moving on to the assessment. This is the assessment. So I'm going to go on create again and click on quiz assessment. In quiz assessment, I'm just going to write quiz. I'm going to write instructions for the children. Please complete all the questions. And here you can see there is a default sort of a quiz which comes on its own. And some people wanted to know that if we can have, the children take this quiz where how do we know they are not cheating? So if you have Chromebooks, you can put this on a locked mode so that only that tab is visible to the children. Others all get locked and they are only doing the quiz at a time. What I want you to note here is here, if you see, there is a grade importing. So whatever you do in your Google form gets imported into the Google Classroom, and all your marks from the Google form gets into the classroom. And I'm going to show you how the Gradebook develops. So you can just click on this and assign it. But before you do that, please make sure that you tag it to assessment so that it goes and it sits in assessment. So you just check on that, you will be able to see. If I check on assessment, that's where my quiz has gone and it's sitting there. And the last one now is your notes. So we are going to upload a material. So if I click on create and material, because why do I choose material? Because I don't need any marks or grades or anything on it. So I'm just going to take notes and add a PDF from my drive, which I have saved for the children. So I just go on notes. So just this one and add it. So these are the reference notes that my children can use for this class. And I'm going to tag it to revision notes and post it. So this is how you can upload material for your children, and it is all available systematically, wherein they can go on to it. People, instead of writing teacher session assignments and assessments, also do this chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3 as topics. Some schools also go by date. So 22nd May 2020, and they have all the assignments that need to be done under that. That is entirely up to you. So people, I've already shared with you how you can have the teachers and the students here. I'm moving on to assignments now. What do the assignments look like? So I'm opening up, because the class I created just now didn't have any students. I'm moving on to a class where there are students, and I uploaded a Word document there, which you saw. When the children send it in, this is what it looks like. So I had a few students in this. 23 of them have handed in the assignment. 11 still haven't done anything, and 1 I have already marked. So if I go on to the left-hand side, you can see handed in. These are the children who've handed in. These are the children who have assigned but not handed in. And Abdul Kalam is the person I have already given 20 out of the 25 marks that were there. Now, how do these assignments look like? If you click on any one of them, they look like this. So the Word document opens up like this. On the right-hand side, you will be able to see the child's attachment. You will be able to give marks to the child. I've given 20 out of 25. And you will also be able to give some private comments. So please complete all the questions. Please note that the stream is where the children can see each other's comments, but this is one-to-one with this particular child. So after I've done this, I'm posting the comment. After I've posted the comment, I return this to her. So once it confirms that this is returned, this assignment, which I have checked and marked, will go to the student. And the student will be able to see what remark the teacher has done and what is the marks that I have got and what is the feedback on my paper. So everything is done seamlessly, paperless, and without much effort. So if I go back to the class assignment again, you will be able to see that this was the assignment here, and there is a settings button. Once I click on the settings button, it says I can copy all my marks to Google Sheets. So if I click on the first option here, this is what I get. So so if I had 15 assignments here, I would have seen all the marks over here with the class average, who's got what, how much is Johnson getting in the quiz, in the assignment. So everything is there at a glance. And when I showed you the Google form, I said import grades. Those Google form marks will also get integrated here. So everything becomes this becomes your gradebook, wherein the entire marks or what the assignments or the tests that the child has been doing gets accumulated here. So this is how you do the accumulation of the marks. And I'm just going to show you one more thing. So if I go on to Safina Praveen, I click on that. There it says she's got nothing. She hasn't done any work as yet. So I'm going to click on Shiva Kumar. So Shiva Kumar has given me this worksheet, but I have not marked it. And I have not left any comments for this person. So if I click on Shiva Kumar again, you will be able to see all that. So if there were 15 assignments here, you would have seen how many have been handed in, how many have been returned with grade, and how many are missing. So everything, including the marks, the assignments, the handed in assignments, the graded assignments, and the missing assignments, everything gets visible to the child here. So this was about the Google Classroom, the stream, the classroom with all your assignments, your assessments, your notes, and the teacher sessions. This is about the people, the students, and the teachers. How do you see them? And the grades, of course, there are none here, so I showed them to you in another class, wherein the gradebook, the assignment, and the marks could be seen. So Vinod, if there is time, can I show a few samples?
Yes, ma'am, we can absolutely. And ma'am, there is one question in the chat window related to quiz assignment. Like, how do we give points to the quiz?
Okay, so this is shows. Do you want me to demo it?
Yes, if possible, ma'am. How we can create the graded assignments? Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
What's the difference between stream and classwork? So the stream, if you look at the stream here, stream is just like your Facebook front page, where you go and you chat and you have your discussions and you have your flipping your classroom wherein you can put videos for the children to talk about. So this is just your interaction page. Classwork, on the other hand, is where you put all your assignments, your assessments, your resources for the children. Okay. So how do you grade the quiz? So I'm going on to a new tab, and I'm clicking on the Google Apps Grid. People also call it the cracker or the waffle because of the shape that it has. It's your choice what you want to call it. And you will look for Google Forms. So I'm clicking on Google Forms. This is also the same as Vinod gave you a small demo on. So I'm taking a blank form. So this is a blank form, and I'm just creating this for science grade 8. And you will see the title changes on its own. The first question is always the name, so you know which child has done it. So it has some sort of artificial intelligence to be able to guess that it's a name, that it's a short answer. You can add a question from here and say, is this kinetic or static fiction? So I'm just going to take an image from the net. This one. And insert it here. So I'm going to click on this and make it centrally aligned. So my question is this kinetic or static friction? And it's a multiple choice. So my first option is kinetic and the second is static. Okay, so if I've created this question, I'm not going to create any more. I'm just going to give you a demo of one. So if this is the question that I've created, how do the children do it? And how does Google know what the correct answer is? So I'm going on to Google settings, making this into a quiz. So once you make it into a quiz and save it, you will see that an answer key pops up. So I click on the answer key. I say the correct answer is kinetic. Okay. I click on feedback. If the child gives an incorrect answer, I will say, no, this is kinetic friction. And I can also add a video for the child to understand what is kinetic friction. So the child is on his own. He is looking at his wrong answer and the teacher is giving him or her. This could also be your own video. I'm just taking it from the YouTube. So if the child says static, that is an incorrect answer. The child will get a response, no, this is kinetic friction, and you see this video. If he gives a correct answer, that is kinetic, it will say, well done. So this is what you have done with Google by making it into Google Form, by making it into a quiz. This will make it auto grade. And for marks, I'm saying 2. So I put 2 marks here. I've said the correct answer is kinetic. I've given a feedback for the correct answer and for the incorrect answer. And I've clicked on done. So when the child goes on to this, when I go on, click on preview, you will be able to see when the child does this and submits it. You will be able to see this was a wrong answer. The feedback is no, this is kinetic friction, and this is the video that you need to watch to make you understand better. So that's how you mark it. Any other questions pertaining to the classroom?
Just checking the chat window, ma'am. Not now, ma'am. Maybe we can keep the questions for the end.
Yeah. So I have another 6 minutes.
Sorry?
I have another 6 minutes, Vinod.
Sure. Do we have anything else we can share, or is it done, ma'am?
No, so I have a few examples if you want me to show those. So I can show those examples. But I think there were a few questions regarding the Android devices and mobile phones. Please remember that Vinod said right at the beginning, if you're using a laptop or if you're using the desktop, all of these are browser based, so you can go on to Chrome and access everything with your G Suite for Education account. If you have a phone, you need 6 apps. So on the phone, you will need the Chrome, you will need Drive, Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Meet, and Google Classroom. If you have these 6 apps, you will be able to function with everything that we are talking about.
Ma'am,
Yeah, Vinod.
sorry, one question. Since we already are on Google Classroom, I think there's a question how we can add set time for the test in Google Form.
So there are 2 add-ons. There are actually lovely add-ons in the Google Marketplace. So for for any app that you're using, suppose this is the Google Doc, you can go on to add-ons and click on Get Add-ons, and you can get add-ons for your app. So here you can, for Word, you can get Math Type. That is for the math people, or you can get Equatio, which is again for the math people. For Google Forms, there is Timify, and there is Form Limiter. So you can have those, and you can limit your the timings for your Google Forms.
Sure. And one more thing, ma'am, where we can, set the due date along with the time. So let's say if we are creating a quiz assignment, then we can absolutely mention the date by when they
Yes,
have to submit it back.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So here, when we are creating an assignment like this one here, so if I just edit it, I'll be able to show you. Here we can do the due date and the due time. After you do that, the children will not be able to access it post that time and date. But for the Google Form in particular, there is Timify and there is Form Limiter. So I just wanted to show you a few examples. You have a lot of you think that this can't be used for the very little ones, and I also don't advocate a one-to-one technology for very little children for a long period of time. But with that, the learning has gone online, and there are lots of activities which you can for the little ones. So the parents can access your Google Classroom rather than the children accessing it. So there are some activities which you can create very easily with the Google Slides. So for instance, this one here. So this is on Google Slides. So what I've done here is, if you look at the background, nothing moves. Only the apples move. So very simple activity wherein you can go and you can create, and the children can count 8 apples, and you know whether this child has learned the concept of this number or not. Does he know what 8 actually means? So there are some very simple templates which you can use. There's one which was this. Then there is right order. So if you are doing, for instance, you're talking about Jack and the Beanstalk, you can relate it to germination, and in germination you can have this. So you can get the children to put these in order. So they are not only doing a drop and drag activity, they are also learning about germination, and they are learning about sequencing. Sequencing then goes on to your computing as well. So the children actually learn how to do this. And this was created using a Google slide. Very, very simple to create, and very interactive for the children. And you can, sitting in your own homes, you can access if the children have learned what you've taught them or not. There's another one for the hundreds and the tens. So this is for slightly older children, wherein you teach them, you can give them instructions about the bucket. So they can highlight, go on to the bucket on this. So this is the template. So they can go on to the bucket and they can highlight 10. So they can highlight this as the 30s, and then 5 as this. So these are very simple to make, and this is Google Slide. And if you have in your classroom, if you have the the instructions done in such a way that each child will get a copy of this. You can do your assessment in just flat 2 minutes. So lots and lots of things that you can do with the Google Classroom. I have curated some rhymes. You can do rhymes for the children, sing along with them. You can, so this is also on the slides. So you click on any rhyme that you want the children to do. You click on present so that they can see a full picture, and you can be on Google Meet with them and sing along. And once the screen comes up with the words, you can have the music. So how did I do that? You have the Google Slides, you put your rhyme. When you click on the formatting options for this, for the audio playback, I've just put it automatically and I put it in loop. As simple as that. And it creates a beautiful 15 minutes activity for your children where they sing, they dance in front of the meet that you're having, and the children love things like this. So all of this was done using the Google Apps. It just needs a little bit of thinking and creativity. I've curated some story books. So the entire storybook comes live for the children. You can just go on present the screen. And once you click on present, the story can come on. The children can read, or you can read, or you can do buddy reading with this. You can also have your own voice recorded and integrated. So all of this can happen on your Meet screens, when you share your Meet screen. And one last activity I want to show you, which is the Jamboard. So we've done some critical thinking here for the very little ones. We had, like Vinod said, open up the Jamboard, and I've inserted an image using the tool here, and got the children onto the screen using the share button, like you can share any document, and the children have written attributes of Little Red Riding Hood. So this is a collaborative thinking activity, but it is also getting the children to think about the character and write the attributes. So lots and lots of resources you can create using the Google Apps and make your online classes, the virtual world, interesting from the very little ones up till grade 8. So that's it from me, Vinod. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was extremely useful. And next we have Parth for CS first. So over to you, Parth.
Thank you so much, Vinod. Hi, everybody. My name is Parth Nigam, and I'm from the Google research team. And I'm going to talk you through two of our computer science programs that we offer from Google. But before that, first of all, let me just start with thank you so much, Deepti ma'am. It was a very, very insightful session. And I hope that our teachers would have found it very helpful as well. And the second thanks is for all of you educators who've joined this call. Thank you so much for continuing to educate our students even in these difficult times. And we really appreciate your efforts. So thank you so much. And now we'll move on to the next segment of this session, where I will be talking about two computer science programs that can help you engage with students in a fun and engaging way, even at homes or after the school reopens. And these programs are absolutely free of cost, and they run on browsers, so you don't need any additional softwares to get started. So let me quickly present my screen, and I'll quickly show you a presentation. I hope you can see my screen. So this is the last time that we are switching screens so that it's not difficult for you. So essentially what you need to do is that go into the People tab and look for Parth Nigam presentation, and just go ahead and pin that tab. So once you pin that tab, you'll have my presentation on your screen. Great. So I think we can get started. The first program that I'll be talking about is CS First, which is our flagship educational program for computer science. And this has been designed in a very friendly kind of a way, which is a do-it-yourself kind of a platform where students learn and practice themselves. And teachers are more of facilitators than instructors when you use this program. So I'll be talking briefly about this program in a while, but before getting started with our programs, I just wanted to take a step back and talk about what computer science is and how is it helpful for our students. So at Google, we deeply care about computer science education across the world, and we deeply believe that computer science is not just learning about programming or computers. It's a great tool and enabler to solve real life problems. And we have seen over the years computer science evolving and becoming a strong enabler to solve problems, and also to understand critical skills like computational thinking, problem solving skills, and also to spark their creativity. And these all skills are, as we all know, the skill sets of 21st century. So this is one of the examples that has been built by one of our students, grade 4 students, Olivia, and you can see how she has actually integrated computer science concepts and storytelling. So similar to what Deepti ma'am was talking while germination, the concept of sequencing, which is also a computational thinking concept. So you can see how these concepts actually talk through between subjects and courses. This is an example, a very fun way where a student had a blended interest in sports as well as gaming, and they created something really fun out of it. And then how can we forget the timeless tale of Ballerina, where she is frightened by the thought of performing on stage, and then her friends encourage her, and then she performs on the stage. So you can see how student actually tried to express herself and build out confidence to militate what she is scared of. So, having said all this and talking about the importance of computer science, I'm really happy to talk to you about one of our flagship educational programs for computer science. And the name of this program is CS First. So, CS First is a foundational program which introduces computer science in a very fun and collaborative way to students from class 4th to 8th. It's absolutely free of cost, and the students who complete activities with CS First also get cool Google certificates. So quickly talking about how CS First has been across the world. So we have more than 3 million students across 75 plus countries who've, uh, who've, who are learning computer science skills through CS First, and we are seeing this number increase every day and every week. So let's quickly jump into it on what CS First actually is. So CS First is more of a do-it-yourself kind of a platform where students basically learn by watching video lectures of Google educators, and they practice hands-on on a very fun modern-day computing language, Scratch, that has been developed by MIT. So while students learn themselves, teachers are more of facilitators and not active instructors. So you don't need to teach in the classrooms. You just need to let the students know that this is the activity that they are going to do, and then students start learning themselves and start building their projects. You will get access to our cool dashboards, which can be very helpful to track and monitor progress of these students. Even if you are running these activities remotely, you'll have our dashboard to track which student is doing what. Apart from that, all the teachers who get started with CS First activities also get certificates and some cool gifts. And given that we are currently in a lockdown where everything is going remote, CS First is a great do-it-yourself platform, and we also have Parents Guide, which you can share with parents across with all your school students, and they can help get started. So in these times of summer vacations or lockdowns, you can make a good use of these computer science programs to ensure that students are learning computer science and are not missing out on these skill sets. Students essentially get a great platform to directly get a chance to learn from computer science educators, and we have great themes and activities which are very interesting for students to gauge these concepts. And as I mentioned earlier, we also give Google certificates to students as motivators to make them learn more and more about computer science education. So what we essentially provide for free are instructional videos, certificates, lesson plans, and solution sheets as well, so that you don't have to create anything from scratch. And then we also have a starters kit, which will help you get started with our website through screenshots, so that it's no hassle for you and you can get started anytime that you want. What you need to conduct a CS first session is fairly simple. You just need students, computers, internet. If you have these three, you can obviously get started. And if students have headphones, because they'll be viewing video lectures, that's just an icing on the cake. So even if you have students, computer, and internet, we are good to go. So that's it for CS first. I'd recommend you to go ahead and visit our website. It's a very handy Go link, which is g.co/CS first. And if you have any questions at any point in time for us, please feel free to reach out to us. You can write to us at csfirstindia@google.com. The other program that I'll be talking very quickly about is Code to Learn contest, and I'm sure the CS educators in this lot might have heard about this contest. So it's an annual contest that we run at Google, and we see thousands of students across the country participating in it. So this contest is open from class 5th to 12th students enrolled in any school, and it's free of cost. So it gives a very meaningful way to engage students in these situations and to help ensure their learning levels. We also have a specialized machine learning track for students from class 9 to 12th. So in all these projects that they create, they absolutely need not write any line of code. They use fun tools like Scratch and App Inventor and one of our models, Google Cloud AutoML, to participate. So we'll really recommend you to spread the word about this contest. And the deadline is 31st July, so we have a lot of time. So you can let your students know about this contest, and feel free to visit our website to get additional details. It's also a very handy Go link. It's g.co/code2learn. And you can reach out to us at code2learn@google.com anytime, and we'll be very happy to help. So that's it from my side from the computer science education programs. I'll be inviting Shalini, who is going to talk about one of our apps, Bolo.
Thank you so much, Parth. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. This is Shalini here. I hope you've had a very useful and productive session with what Deepthi ma'am told you about G Suite and with Parth on CS First education program. I'll just spend a few minutes, on this app called Bolo that we launched early last year. This is actually, go ahead, Parth. So Google's commitment to education is not just limited to the G Suite or G Suite products. We also launched an app, like I mentioned early last year, and the genesis of the thinking behind this app really has been the problem of foundational literacy, which has been, which is very, very prevalent in the developing world more so, and is also a very key sustainable development goal, declared by the United Nations. Now, just as part of that, if you go to the next slide, Part, we firmly believe that while technology alone cannot solve for all the problems that exist in education, it can be a powerful tool, a powerful enabler, to become a part of the solution. And this is exactly what Bolo does. So from a literacy standpoint, from a foundational literacy standpoint, if you go to next slide, Part. Our mission is universal literacy. So we launched this app and it's currently live in 9 languages, including English, Hindi, Spanish, Tamil, Telugu, Marathi, And it's an Android app. You can go ahead and download it from the Play Store. Next slide. So it's a speech-based reading app, and what it does is that it allows the child to read stories on the app in their own voice. So as they speak, the words change color, and if they're making a mistake, the artificial intelligence-powered assistant you see on the bottom right-hand corner actually speaks up and corrects the child. So it's a very interactive way for a kid to learn in an app. It's a first of its kind app where the child, where we're using artificial intelligence to aid learning. And there are hundreds of stories that we have put in there. And as the children, graduate from the basic level 1 to level 4, depending on their fluency in the language, they can read, different varies of stories in that. And we've tied up with Pratham Books and Global Digital Library to include diversity of stories, in this app. And go to the next slide. This is an app that once you download from the Play Store, all the stories get downloaded at once, and you don't need to be connected per se to be able to read those stories. So children can easily read the stories even if the phone is offline. It is completely safe in the sense that we're not collecting any data, of the usage in the app. It remains on the phone which the kids are using, of the parents' phone, and it's completely free. It is not a subscription-based product. There are no hidden fees attached to it. It's completely free to use, and the idea is that kids from age 5 to age 12 can become fluent in any language of their choice that is available on the app. So that's kind of the in a nutshell what it is.